Yo people, how's it going? When I write music, I like to write stories. So the track I'm working on today is dark and oppressive. So I wanted to write a lead line that follow those principles. So I will design a crunchy acid lead in Vital. In this video you'll also learn a quick method for coming up with midi pattern or melodies, how to design a crunchy acid lead, and as a bonus, I will show you one more way you can fit this preset into your track. So I'm a bit lazy when it comes to writing MIDI patterns and melodies, so usually I'm gravitating between three options. So the first option is creating a MIDI clip, heading to the generators. Seed is usually my favorite. I will set the pitch to the right range, I'll set the voices to 1, density quite high, set the duration, etc. and click generate. What I like to do is loop a section like this, and that's one option. It's alright. Let's put this aside. Another option is converting an audio sample into MIDI. Let's take this sample, drop it into any MIDI track, and then I will click on melody. Nice, and we have this. But this is not in the right key of our track, so let's go to the MIDI clip, highlight all of the notes, and then we can click here, fit to scale. I will probably stick just with the first part of this loop, because I like it a little bit more. And I want this to be a bit darker, so maybe we can get everything a little bit lower. I'm really curious to hear how this sounds with the crunchy acid lead that we're gonna make soon. And the third option is taking an existing MIDI clip and just adjusting it to your key. Grab any MIDI clip, drop it into your arrangement, and just be aware that when you do that, you're losing your scale. So you need to click on scale again, choose the right one you're working on, then highlight all of the notes, fit to scale. Let's also reduce this by 2 octaves, and now we have this. This can sound pretty cool actually. Let's head to Vital and start designing our crunchy acid lead. I'm going to use a wavetable I bought somewhere. This is a pack from Futurephonic and I think it's called Source Code Volume 1. It's Virtual Light Custom Wavetables. So far we have this. With our bass line. Nice. I want envelope 2 to control our filter. So let's take the resonance all the way down and the filter cutoff all the way down, and let's assign envelope 2 to the filter cutoff. Let's take the sustain all the way down and the decay really low, below 100 milliseconds. Not very inspiring. I want to take macro 1 to control the decay and the sustain of envelope 2. And here's a cool trick. So if we go to the matrix, we can change the way this macro is behaving. I don't want it to move in a linear way. So what you can do is like this. This line is representing the macro. This is the starting position, this is the middle, so when I do this, the macro is here, and when the macro goes all the way up, the macro is here. I want the first part of the macro, this, to be quite sensitive, so we'll just lower this like that. And we'll do the same thing for the decay. Just be careful not to press on the left and right, because that will cause you some issues. Now I have much more control over this macro. Nice. Next thing that I want to do is take macro 2 and control the filter. And I will also take envelope 2 and lower that to about halfway. So now I have even more control over the filter and envelope, how open the sound is. The next macro will be on the wavetable. Next, let's go to our effects and let's add the distortion. From soft clip, let's change it to linear fold. Let's add some drive. Let's go to the filter, put it on post effects. Let's take the resonance down, cutoff all the way down. Silent. It's not what we want. Let's take our envelope and assign it to the cutoff. assign the filter. Now it's sounding so powerful and lush. So what I want to do now is adding reverb and adding delay and adding some bunch of effects to make sure that this acid lid fits our track. So let's start by putting Vital in a group. If you press on this triangle and you configure the plugin, now you can assign any parameter you want to any macro on your rack. So grab my favorite reverb, this is Comet, and it has 5 different slots down here. So in one instance of this plugin, you can have 5 presets, which I range from the smallest to slightly bigger, medium, and large. Let's assign the dry wet to another macro and the morph to a different macro. So also start giving them colors. If you don't own Valhalla Supermassive, then please go download it right now and do not come back to this video until you have downloaded it, okay? So now that you have downloaded Valhalla Supermassive, let's assign all of its parameters to macros on this rack. I will assign the mix, the delay note selector, the warp, the feedback, and the density. We need to do a few more things to make sure this fits our track, because it has too much low end, it sounds really muddy. Let's fix that. Let's start by adding an EQ, and I'll put it before reverb and the delay. So let's just cut some of the low end, and that's it for now. But after the reverb and the delay, we have suddenly a lot of stereo information, so we need to EQ this plugin with a mid-side EQ. In order to do that, grab a utility plugin and grab an EQ plugin. Let's put them both in a rack. If you right click where it says width, you can change it to mid-side mode. Now I can just either listen to the mid or to the side. And I can EQ each one separately. So let's change the mode of the EQ to mid-side and let's start EQing the mid. Let's cut some of the muddy parts, such as this. This as well. And I'll boost a bit of the character. Some of the highs as well. Before. After. Let's EQ the sides. Cut the lows. Cut the side here. Notice that the adjustments are a bit different than the mid. This sounds really nice. Let's cut some of the high frequencies. Before. Kind of muffled. After. Much better. Let's put it back in the middle. Before. After. Such a massive difference. Another plugin that I like to use that really helps to control the dynamics of any sound is Saturn, because it has this knob it calls dynamics, and this is what it does. Flattens everything out. Let's turn it the other way around. Makes everything much more punchy. There's one more thing that I need to do before this preset is ready. So next, let's add a plugin called Soothe 2. And I just want to clean up a little bit all of these harsher frequencies. Basically has 3 main controls: depth, sharpness, and selectivity. If I click here and I click listen, now we are listening to the frequencies being attenuated. Let's solo our channel. Let's make this a little bit wider. Let's increase the depth. Now this is cutting quite a lot of character of the sound. So maybe let's increase the sharpness and the selectivity. I managed to narrow it down to cut just those like harsh peaks and resonance. Click on listen. Let's bypass it. sounding so crunchy and nice. Absolutely love it. Now what you can do is just assign some of these macros into your controller, which I don't have, so I can just write it down and just do something like this. Or you can do this. Open a MIDI clip, let's add a note, put it 2 octaves down, 3 octaves down. So we have this. Let's click on random. Let's put it another octave down. Okay, this is sounding nice. Maybe we can increase the feedback. Make this a nice atmospheric sound. Squeeze the dynamics a bit. You didn't expect having a massive atmosphere out of this preset, right? So what we'll do is we'll click on this camera button and click on new. And we'll call this Atmos. Let's click random again. Suddenly we have a different type of stub. We can click new, make this a preset as well. Let's see what else we can come up with. What the hell is that? Let's do one more. How amazing is that? So I hope you learned something from this video. I had a lot of fun making this. And if you enjoyed this video, then please go watch another one. Peace and love. See you in the next one.